be healthy without needles, knives, and drugs. I had scoliosis when I was a child, a curved spine, and they put a 16-inch rod in my back when I was 11 because that was all my parents needed to do, and I wore a body cast for years. When I was in my 20s, I had an accident and the rod broke, so it cut nerves all the way up and down my spine, and they had to take it out of my spine. So subsequently, a lot of the nerves in my spine were cut that go to the intestinal tract. And a lot of you may or may not know that the spine and the intestinal tract work together. And from the spine, there are nerves that go to all parts of the body. And from the intestinal tract, there are nerves that go to all parts of the body. So if either one of those is not functioning properly, we're going to have health conditions, possibly in other parts of the body. So I grew up with chronic fatigue, exhaustion, constipation, not knowing why. And so I met Dr. Bernard Jensen when I was a very young woman, and he taught me about cleansing. And I worked with him at the Hidden Valley Health Ranch with hundreds of thousands of people and saw miracles occur in those people as well as in myself through cleansing. How many of you knew Dr. Bernard Jensen? He was a great pioneer on this planet and saw amazing things at his ranch, people getting well when they had given them up to die. So today I'm going to talk with you about cleansing today, because in this day and time, it takes a stronger cleanse than we had even 10 years ago, because the world is becoming more toxic. Unfortunately, there's more toxins in the water, more toxins in the food, and the soil layer is thinner with less nutrients. So now people are forming biofilms within their body. How many of you have heard of biofilms? And this is within the intestinal tract and within the body where yeast and parasites form a film around them to protect them. So how are we going to break through all that? And that's what I want to talk with you about. So we want to learn how to be a healthy person and feel really well, because this is our birthright. This is what we are here to be. We want to have lots of strength and energy. We want to live into our older years. This is Bernard Jensen, who was a pioneer, and I always honor him. He is my father-in-law. And this is when we worked at the Hidden Valley Health Ranch. This is when I worked at a clinic in Switzerland studying cleansing. Dr. Jensen stated in the 70 years that he helped people in treating over 300,000 patients, it was the bowel that was inevitably causing problems that needed to be cleansed in order to be well. So knowing the ways to keep the bowel clean and then also all the tissues of the body clean is crucial to being healthy. Every tissue of the body is fed through the bowel because the blood passes in and out of the bowel, collecting either nutrients or toxins. So which will it be for you? What will be there? We developed this chart. We have these at our booth, but this chart shows how different parts of the bowel connect with different parts of the body. So why do people have headaches? Because they're toxic across their transverse colon. The transverse colon connects directly to the head. Why are they depressed? There are toxins in that area. And when I do iris analysis on those people, I can see that as well. I can see the connection. So we want to keep the bowel clean, so what the blood's picking up will be nutritious for the body rather than toxic. Bernard Jensen wrote this book. It sold over 1 million copies, teaching us about cleansing. And then I've carried cleansing to another step and put together a cleansing program to teach you about. I've written books about cleansing and good health. And this book teaches you also about what to eat. Because natural. It teaches you what to leave off, what to replace with, teaches you what every food, every juice, and every herb does for the body. It also teaches you every health problem and what to do for it. Then you can download this off of our website, and it will teach you exactly how to cleanse, since I will only be able to go over so much with you here today. And I'm so happy to see that around the world, more people are becoming interested in their colon. This was a display up in Alaska for children. Isn't that cute? To learn about intestinal health. So why should we cleanse? People are toxic. Their bodies are toxic. This was one of my clients, with cancer in the skin of the legs. And, we're just being bombarded by all kinds of chemical sprays, factories, smoke from our cars, lungs are congested. There are toxic dump sites with toxins going into our food. The soil is eroding. Waters are getting more toxic. Now make sure that you're not drinking water with fluorine or chlorine in it, because fluorine is lowering your thyroid. And if you are taking fluoride in your water, don't be surprised if you get hypothyroidism. It's very much affecting your thyroid. And chlorine, when you get chlorine in your water, it might kill bad bacteria, but it also kills all the good bacteria in your intestinal tract. So we've got to stay away from those. We need good, healthy water. The clear fluids of the body line the sinuses, line the joints, line the intestinal tract. And this is the lymph system. We are made up of 75 to 80% water. And so if we don't drink half of our body weight in ounces of water a day, we're going to be toxic. So we must drink a lot of water. Our kidneys are one of our major sources of elimination. And when the bowel is toxic, then the kidneys have to take on extra work. So we want to keep the bowel clean as well as the kidneys. Do not use pasteurized milk, pasteurized dairy. Not only are they dead foods, but they are full of antibiotics and hormones. We have the bovine growth factor, and this is why young people are getting breasts at the age of 9 and periods at the age of 9, because they're getting all these hormones in the beef and in the milk. And then there's the insulin-like growth factor, which increases problems of breast cancer, prostate cancer, and colon cancer. So stay away from these things where they're not organic. Chickens are full of chemicals that they eat every day. They never see the light of day. And people are just going and filling themselves up with trans fats that the liver doesn't recognize, so their liver's becoming toxic. And did you know that the liver has 11 pathways? And if women have ovarian cysts, if they have breast tumors, if they're having hot flashes or PMS, it's because their liver is not processing hormones. So, people want to just go take hormones, but they need to get to the root of the cause. They need to open up their liver pathways. Wheat and sugar are causing plaque in the sinuses. Think about the clear fluids of the body. If you put glue in them, you're going to have a gluey sinus congestion and gluey lungs. So stay away from wheat, milk, and sugar. People think belly fat is just fat, but it's not. It's full of hormones with inflammatory white blood cells in them. So if a person has a lot of fat on the body, they're going to be producing molecules of inflammation. They're going to be aching, and they're going to be having health problems. And mucus builds up in the sinuses. A lot of people have drainage in their sinuses and in their ears. Little children are having earplugs put in their ears, ear tubes, because they're full of congestion from drinking pasteurized milk and sugar. Sugar weakens the pancreas. We have more diabetes today than we ever have before. I teach all over the world, and even in the Philippines, we have Coca-Cola trucks on every corner. Half the people in the Philippines, because of their Americanization, now have diabetes. And it's ruining our teeth. So then we get silver mercury put in our teeth. We need to have that removed because mercury is a poison. Table salts or irritants, they burn up the digestive enzymes. If you use salt, we want you to use a Himalayan salt or unrefined sea salt because those have all the minerals in them. Caffeine dries up the fluids in the colon. People say, well, I can't go to the bathroom unless I drink a cup of coffee. Well, just keep drinking coffee, and it's going to kick your adrenals, kick your pancreas, produce high insulin levels, drop your blood sugar. You drink a cup of coffee in the morning, and you're going to want a donut at 10 o'clock. And the cycle continues and continues till you find yourself really sick. So the best thing to do is substitute a good green tea instead of coffee. It's very acidic. Caffeine has been linked to fibrocystic breast and ovarian tumors. So the ecosystem of our digestive tract should stay in balance. We want to have balance there. A lot of people have forgotten the soldiers that fight for us in our intestinal tract. 60 to 70% of our immune system is right here in our gut. And that's all the friendly bacteria that fight for us. And many of us didn't nurse. We did not get the first colostrum in the beginning of life. We did not get the immunities that we need from the very get-go. So it's a lifetime project to work on the ecosystem and getting the friendly bacteria in your intestinal tract. So then the intestinal tract, when we eat all these foods I've just shown you, become full of parasites. Because what do parasites like to live on? Sugar. Sugar just feeds them daily. And then we get appendicitis because the cecum swells full of toxins. So you go get your appendix cut out and keep eating the same foods, you're never going to get well. Here's where the cecum swells and the appendix gets cut off. That's where the parasites like to dwell. So the sigmoid colon that goes down to the rectum can be enlarged and swollen. And my patients come to me and they say, oh, I have pain right here on this side, and I can see it in their eyes. Or I have pain on this side at the hepatic flexure. And we can see in the iris where it connects to the colon. They may have a stricture there, and that's causing a blockage and constipation. These are x-rays that we've taken of prolapsed colons. So if your colon prolapses, we can see it in the eyes. And what it does is it presses on the bladder, presses on the prostate, the ovaries, and then you start getting menstrual cramps, you start having frequent urination, and prostate cancer. These are diverticuli that start forming from a poor diet. And they cause infection. Before you know it, you have candida, which is yeast, and leaky gut syndrome. Here's the prolapses, right down here onto the ovaries. When the colon prolapses, it pulls the stomach down. So then the stomach forms a fishhook-like shape, and we get acids in the bottom of the stomach. So people start having burning stomachs, they start having ulcers, and in addition to that, they start having acid reflux. They get rectal hernia, hemorrhoids, polyps, colitis. And a lot of people say, oh, well, I have a bowel movement every day, but it's going through that tiny hole there, and the rest of the colon is toxic. So an unhappy colon will make you sick. So you'll know if your colon's unhappy because it'll be bloating after your meals, you'll be burping, you'll be constipated or have diarrhea, and we want to get that colon well because that's a big part of your immune system. We have lots of little villi in the intestinal tract, and these are what pick up the blood and the nutrients and send out into the rest of the body. If these are pasted down with wheat, milk, and sugar, then they're not going to function. So that's when bacteria starts boring holes into the intestine, through the walls, and come out into the body. And that's when we start getting inflammation. The length of our digestive tract is 6 times longer than the height of humans. So that is a long area to take care of. And the bowel and the intestinal tract affect every other organ of the body. So even if people have arthritis and aching and inflammation, most of the time it's starting in the gut because the inflammation starts there. Liver cirrhosis. This is when the liver becomes very toxic, and that can happen from eating lots of toxic foods with chemicals. It can happen with alcohol. Many people are born with genetically weak livers, and then they put negative stuff in there and it can't handle it. This is a healthy liver. Without our livers, we cannot live. So we need our livers to process fats, to process chemicals, to process hormones. So a person that's living like this and they're feeling terrible and they don't know why is because they are intoxicated with all kinds of things they're breathing and eating and drinking. They're fatigued and their colons are inflamed. They are having headaches and their colons are inflamed, or their livers. And the TV will tell us it's allergy season again because they're happy to sell you more allergy medication. They don't necessarily want you to get rid of the cause or realize that the cause is starting in your intestinal tract. People are depressed because their transverse colon is full of yeast, and that yeast is forming all kinds of inflammation in the brain. People are in pain and aching. Remember I told you the nerves from the colon connect directly to the spine. That'll cause inflammation and pain. They're stressed. When you're stressed, that causes acids in the body. And because minerals are burned up when you're stressed. So we want to learn to breathe deeply from down here, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. And when you're breathing normally and deeply rather than shallow breathing, when you breathe properly, that calms adrenaline, that alkalinizes the body. But when you're under stress and you're at a stoplight and you're late and you're producing adrenaline, that's creating acids in your body that are pulling calcium from the bone. So then you're getting arthritis, kidney stones, gallstones, all from stress. So we want to work with stress as well. Inflammation and toxicity in the gut. And I've given you this in your handouts today. Toxins bombard the lining of the intestinal tract over and over again. And the friendly fighting bacteria are killed and parasites and yeast form, creating the holes. Too much wheat eaten over time pastes down the tiny villi, so we can no longer absorb our nutrition. When we can't absorb our nutrients, we're in trouble. The immune system then goes on alert and starts attacking all of these things that are coming out through those holes. And so things that you've eaten over and over again, such as gluten, sugar, soy, corn, peanuts, and eggs, because you've eaten them over and over, the body thinks it's a toxin. So it starts attacking those, and you might have an allergic reaction, such as sinus congestion, or sneezing, or swelling, or pain. Inflammation then spreads to the weaker areas of the body, such as sinuses, ears, eyes, throat, brain, and skin. Itis means inflammation. So any itis on the end of any word, rhinitis, arthritis, colitis, nephritis, all of these, sinusitis, bursitis, illnesses that stem from the gut. Heartburn and gastroesophageal reflux disease is caused by inflammation the intestinal tract. So if the cardiac sphincter muscle, which is right here at the heart area, is not holding the food down after you eat, it's because acids keep pushing on it and coming back up. So we want to stop eating acidic foods. 80% of our diet should be alkaline, and that means vegetables and fruits. 6 vegetables a day and 2 fruits a day will give you your alkaline balance. Okay, so we want to do lots of alkaline foods and juices so it stays down, and enzymes to keep it down. What causes bowel, body congestion, yeast, and inflammation are the foods that we're eating. Just avoid these things for 2 weeks, and you'll feel a lot better. Processed acid-producing foods, avoid all the artificial sweeteners, preservatives, hydrogenated oils, caffeine, avoid those for 2 weeks. And eating the same foods over and over again. Some people eat the same thing every day, and that starts causing inflammation because your body needs a variety. If you have arthritis, I do recommend to leave off eggplants, bell peppers, and tomatoes, the nightshade plants. I've had people with arthritis that leave them off for 2 weeks and start breaking that allergenic cycle, and they start feeling better. And then after 2 weeks, they feel a lot better. Citrus fruits, especially non-organic citrus that are not ripened on the vine, can be causing you a problem. Alcohol, nicotine, drugs, petrochemicals, and mercury. Water with chlorine and fluorine, stress, lack of exercise, and lack of sleep. So what do we do? What is the light? You want to change your daily habits, drink pure water, avoid the things we've talked about, reduce stress, do some yoga, some deep breathing, exercise. We want to exercise for at least half an hour a day. And if you're too exhausted to exercise, walk slowly, swing your arms, because the clear fluids of the body will stagnate like a stagnant swamp if we don't exercise. The only thing that moves those clear fluids is exercise, where the heart pumps the blood. So you want to walk and swing your arms. Jump on a mini trampoline. Go into a sauna, a far infrared sauna. Eat dinner by 6 p.m. Go to bed by 10 p.m. A lot of our circadian rhythms are upset because our body is producing enzymes at 6 or 7 in the morning and people sleep till 10. So when they're eating, they're not digesting. Or they're eating at midnight when they should have been eating at 6. And then their bowels are ready to move at 6 or 7 in the morning, and they're sleeping late. So then what moves the peristalsis is not happening. So just to go to bed at 10 and get up at 6 or 7 and eat at noon helps tremendously with weakened adrenal glands and bowel habits. So I give these to all my patients when they come to my office, foods to avoid and foods to replace with. So we want to avoid all processed dairy, fried foods, pork, processed meats, white and wheat bread, salt, sugar, artificial sweeteners, and processed foods, and coffee, black tea, alcohol, and tobacco. And again, you can download this and learn about what to eat. You can learn about how to cleanse. We want to eat organic vegetables because they're high in minerals. We want to have beets that are high in iron to clean the liver. You can eat raw grated beets, steamed beets, or juiced beets. Dark green, red, and purple vegetables clean the liver, especially bitter greens such as kale, arugula, cilantro to cleanse your liver. Salads with romaine lettuce. Do not eat iceberg lettuce. It puts your enzymes to sleep. Cabbage juice helps to heal ulcers. When I worked in the clinic in Europe, in Switzerland, if people had ulcers, we put them on cabbage juice. If they had varicose veins, we pulverized cabbage with raw apple cider vinegar and ginger and put them on the varicose veins with a wrap. and that tightens up the veins. Sprouts are loaded with nutrition, good, healthy protein, vitamins, enzymes. And remember, enzymes are what we're missing. Most people can handle brown rice, but some people have trouble with all grains at first. Whole body juices. This is in my kitchen. I juice all kinds of juices on a regular basis, green juices. If you have candida, you should stick with the green juices. And eating healthy foods from the earth, coconuts, one of the best things in the world for you. Coconut juice, coconut meat, and coconut oil, because it takes down inflammation and kills candida. Now, we have developed, because people are having such a hard time with getting good foods, and because they're having trouble cleansing the body properly, we at Bernard Jensen International have developed foods, whole foods, and this whole life food blend, Bernard Jensen put together with us, and it has mineral whey, which is the same constituency of nutrients as the clear fluids that line the joints. So if people have arthritis, this helps them tremendously because it lubricates the joints and holds calcium in the bone. Colostrum to boost the immune system. Carrot root powder without the sugar in it for the immune system and the eyes. Alfalfa, which is like little brooms that sweep the colon clean. Chlorella is one of the finest cancer fighters and cancer healers and liver cleansers. Ground flaxseed balances hormones, cleans the colon. Oat straw is high in silicon, which strengthens your hair, skin, and fingernails, and balances your nervous system. Lactobacillus acidophilus to replant the gut with good bacteria. And dulse, and this comes from the cold waters of Nova Scotia, which really helps to strengthen the thyroid gland, because we need iodine, especially nowadays with all the radiation that's going around. You need good digestive enzymes, live good enzymes. Two before your meal will make sure you digest so it goes on through and doesn't come back up. These are whole, pure, and organic. They are wild-crafted. And for a cleanse, we use the Smooth Sweep and the Deep and Clean, shaken up together in water, and drink that 2 to 4 times a day. The Para-X to kill the yeast and the parasites. And the Preolac is full of friendly bacteria to re-inoculate your gut. The Liver Vibrance to cleanse and purify your liver. And Super Circulate is my formula for circulation and protecting the heart. So my cleanse kit number 1, the reason it works to break down those biofilm is because it's organic and because it's strong. Many of the cleanses you buy are not organic, they're standardized. So they've had a lot of the nutrients taken out. They're not whole foods anymore. And they put just a very small amount of each thing, and I put lots of each of the nutrients in these. And then during your cleanse, if you drink the Whole Life Food Blend in water, that keeps you nourished and keeps you from being hungry. Smooth Sweep. A lot of psyllium is drying to the gut. So when I prepared the Smooth Sweep, I added flaxseed, chia seed, slippery elm, which makes it very soothing to the gut, very slippery, and it has the oils in it. Deep and Clean is the purest clay that pulls out drugs, chemicals, heavy metals. So these are powders we shake up together. The Para-X that kills the yeast and the parasites it's loaded, lots of high percentages of organic wild-crafted herbs, walnut, cloves, garlic, wormwood. But I also put soothing things in here so you won't cramp. Marshmallow root, ginger, and anise helps to to keep your gut very soothed. This is the most gentle cleanse that a person can go through. The Pre-Lac is 250 million spores of friendly bacteria. It has the fructooligosaccharides that continue to feed the bacteria when it goes into the intestinal tract. The liver vibrance, I put the milk thistle, seed and extract. Dandelion is one of the most bitter greens. It balances the liver and the pancreas. Oregon grapefruit, turmeric, beetroot, schizandra, all of these are anti-inflammatory. There's the dandelion, the milk thistle, and the sun cleanse. I take this every day because I'm traveling all over the world. I'm in planes, I'm all over the place. And I use this as a builder and a cleanser in my own body because I put the foods in there that will balance your blood sugar and keep you from craving sweets. Balance the thyroid, it has the seaweed. Cleanse the liver, cleanse the colon, clean the lungs. It works with and strengthens every system of the body. So this is not just for a cleanse, but I use it every day to keep my body healthy. Also, if people have a kidney problem, this is great. It builds the immune system. And it also helps with varicose veins because it's high in bioflavonoids to strengthen connective tissue. It has the iodine. And then the natural release is a very gentle, and it helps to sweep everything toxic out of the colon. It helps with non-cramping. With the peppermint, it's very soothing with the marshmallow, the cardamom, the fennel, anise, aloe. All of these things help promote peristalsis and help the colon to move. So natural release is safe to use anytime you need it, but it also works great with the cleanse. Skin brushing is crucial when you're cleansing and all the time, because the skin is our largest organ of elimination. We should be eliminating 2 pounds of toxins from the skin every day. If the skin is not eliminating, it will send toxins to the kidneys and the colon, and you will become very sick. So just brushing the skin in a circular fashion toward the heart with a dry vegetable bristle brush before your shower. And you'll see tons of toxicity come out of your skin. Skin brushing gets rid of moles. It helps get rid of brown spots, age spots, cellulite. It breaks down cellulite, and it keeps your skin young. Juicing, we need to drink several glasses of raw vegetable juice a day because that raw juice, and if it's organic, will go into that intestinal tract, and the tiny villi will pick it up and take it to all parts of the body. So I use carrots, celery, beet, parsley, greens, beet tops, kale, chard, spinach. But if you have a special issue with ulcers, I use extra cabbage. If you have a special issue with arthritis, I use extra celery, because celery juice has the same amount of nutrients in the fluid as the clear fluid that line the joints. Ground flax seeds, and I like to use the dark ones the best because they're higher in nutrients. And make a flaxseed tea. And that tea is very slippery, and if you're constipated, use it. It's wonderful. Garlic kills candida, kills parasites. Use it in your juice. Use it on your salads. Lemons. If you have a sinus problem or a mucus problem, lemons are antibiotic. They also break and cut mucus in the body. So drink lots of water. I juice the whole lemon, the rind and everything. So we want to make sure you're exercising during your cleanse, walking, swinging your arms, moving your lymph, lying on a slanting board. And what will that do? That will get your prolapsus back up, off of your bladder, off of your ovaries, off your prostate. And ball and massage from the right side up, over, and down. That will move that intestinal tract back where it needs to go. And we have the Ileocecal Valve, which if you'll move from your right hip just in, if you have pain there, many times that Ileocecal Valve is jammed. And if you'll do this exercise with that tennis ball, it will open that ileocecal valve and help the nutrients to go through. Here are our tennis balls. I like smiley faces. And here we jump on the mini trampoline every day. Remember, I'm a person with a fused spine. I'm a person that has to do these exercises to stay well. So I've committed my life to it. And so just 10 or 15 minutes of this a day will keep you healthy and strong and move your lymph system. I like to enjoy the sweet things of life. Kayaking is my favorite thing to do. But if you're not doing some wonderful, happy things, you can get sick. So it's important that you nourish yourself with things that you love to do. Write down things that you want to be grateful for in a journal, or things that you want to get rid of. Just release them. This was a lady whose daughter was killed in a car accident while she was driving. And she was having migraines and feeling terrible. So I had her write down all the things she wanted to let go of. And then we burned that piece of paper to release it. And then we had her write in all the things she would like to have in her life and look at it every day. And this emotional work, together with the physical work, rebuilt her and helped her get rid of her migraines. So these are just a couple of case studies I had for you of my patients. A lady that was way overweight and suffering from severe depression. I bet she was on 5 depression medications. And she had to keep taking stronger and stronger ones and then stronger because they wouldn't help anymore. She lost 40 pounds, and when we got her colon clean, her depression went away. So isn't that amazing? This guy called himself a party animal. His blood sugar levels were, his glucose levels were very high. He was approaching diabetes when he came to me. Triglycerides very high, and high cholesterol. He also had vertigo, which is dizziness. And this was 6 months later, might have been 8 months later, but he also lost 20 pounds following my nutritional program, which is outlined in my book, Health is Your Birthright. He was able to complete a desert marathon and swam half a mile, rode a bike for 15 and a half miles, and ran 3 miles in 90-degree heat. His vertigo went away when we balanced his spine. I sent him to a chiropractor because when the spine goes out, you're going to have dizziness. But he also had inner ear infections from surfing. So getting off wheat, milk, and sugar, and we used a few drops of colloidal silver, which got rid of the inner ear infections. And he did the colon cleansing. When you cleanse your colon, you're going to lose weight quite easily because you get all the fat and you start digesting better. You get the liver processing fat better. This lady had chronic psoriasis, itching and burning for 15 years when she'd come to see me. In 4 months, we had her that much better with the cleansing. And that shows a little bit of the lightening, but in 6 months, it had gone completely. And we used getting off of wheat, dairy, sugar. She also had to get off alcohol and cigarettes. So, sorry. This is what comes out of people's colons. You just get rid of this old rubbery material, and that makes you feel so much lighter and so much better. Getting rid of those parasites, liver flukes, and then your colon starts feeling happy again. You feel like enjoying life again. You feel like a new person. So really and truly, cleansing is like being on nature's operating table. And when you're doing a cleanse, you're going to need need to rest and take care of yourself. Because during that time, you're releasing all kinds of toxins from your system. And so I recommend, if you do the cleanse with these products, it's the most gentle cleanse I've ever seen, but really strong and gets down and breaks those biofilms in your body. Okay, so I would like to know if there are any questions. Yes. It's on here, booth 515. Yes.
What sort of parasites have you discovered?
Just you name it, and I've come across it. Just about everyone. Yeah, liver flukes, pinworms, tapeworms. I've seen lots of all kinds of worms. People have brought me whole jars of worms that we've gotten out. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes, because it's moving toxins. She's asking, when she does a cleanse, she had pain in her kidney area, and that's because it's moving toxins. You just need to drink more water. And then I also recommend the Castor Oil Patch, which is what I teach people how to do in my book, Health is Your Birthright. And you just warm a little castor oil, dip a cotton or wool flannel cloth in there, and lay it on the area with saran wrap towel and heating pad. And castor oil gets rid of scar tissue. If you have a lot of scar tissue in any area, gets rid of inflammation. It gets rid of fibrocystic breast and all kinds of tumors. So castor oil packs are remarkable. Yes.
You mentioned the whole grains are really good.
Yes.
What's the problem with wheat?
What's the problem with wheat? Wheat is high in gluten, and gluten is very gluey and pasty. When I was a child, we made paste with white flour and water. It made great paste. We pasted all our pictures together and everything. But the clear fluids of our body are very fine, almost like vapor. And you put all that wheat in there over long periods of time, and Americans have pulverized the wheat. They've taken all the fiber out, and it's so white and gluey. They've glued up their bodies, and they've eaten so much wheat over time they've become allergic to it as well. So it starts an inflammatory process, and it starts pasting down the villi in the intestinal tract so you can't absorb your nutrients, and you start bloating. Yeah. Crohn's disease, a lot of times, really is aggravated by wheat, and celiac disease is caused by wheat. And that's when the villi are pasted down.
What are the healthy grains?
Healthy grains are millet, quinoa, brown rice, and these are gluten-free. Buckwheat is gluten-free. It is not wheat. Buckwheat is a flour, Flower. So buckwheat is really, really good for you. And then there is also a gluten-free oat now, where you can buy gluten-free oatmeal. Okay, thank you very much. They told me I have to stop. Thank you, everyone.